Alright guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel, and today I'm just going to bring you along pretty much of what I'm doing to the S10. It's not really a repair video. I've already got a video put out on some of the stuff that I'm doing, and then there's half of it I've already got it taken apart, so really no use to really show you, but I'm going to bring you along anyway because it'll make content for maybe somebody that'll enjoy this. So anyway, 85 S10, you know, pretty much the truck that sort of started the channel. I've changed this truck so many times, front end, wheels, etc. This is what she looks like now. It's got Camaro wheels on it, but problem is it's 2.8 automatic, two-wheel drive, long bed. The blower motor is shot, and I mean so bad that it screams when you go to turn it on. Doesn't matter if it's on the lower setting or the highest or the medium, it will just sit there and scream the whole time. It sounds awful. Before, you could get it to mess with it where you could turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off a couple times, and it would finally shut up. But, well, this time I think it's finally done. So I picked to the parts store. I picked up one of these for, I think it was like 22 bucks or something like that. Not bad at all. And it's a Continental brand, lifetime warranty, with a brand new squirrel cage and everything. So this one ought to be quiet as a mouse, which is what I'm wanting. So I don't have to swap cages. That's great. So we'll go ahead and get this one out. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. No, not 7. 3, 4, 5. It looks like 5 bolts takes it out. No, it's 6. Yeah, 6 7mm bolts takes it out. Piece of cake. And then you've got the main plug to it. Right here, the purple wire. But I'll go ahead and demonstrate real quick what it sounds like before I replace it. Annoying buzzer, but it sounds better than the other buzzer. Ah, it did it one time though. You get the idea of what I mean. That's funny. They're all the same size, just in case you're wondering. I've actually been meaning to replace this thing for quite a bit of time now, and it's just gotten worse to now where it just screams all the time. But, you know, it is what it is when you're a mechanic. You don't have time to work on your own stuff. That stuff seems to be broke all the time, or have issues that you just keep putting off. Like for instance, there's something else that this truck needs, which is a intake gasket. Pretty bad. The back side of the intake is leaking so bad that it's all the way down the transmission, and then it sucks the transmission on top and then down below, making it look like a rear main seal. And it leaks on the front side too. And then my front seal just went out, so that's what you want. Yeah, it'll be alright. This engine's not going to be in here much longer anyway. There we go. Kind of smells burnt, you know, I mean, that's typical. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. A lot of play there. Man. Oh, yeah. It wasn't much longer. I've actually had these almost catch on fire before because the bearings lock up. And when you're blowing hot heat, because this doesn't have AC yet, you're really heating this motor up, which is cooking it. And when you got bad bearings, well, it just don't end well. Yeah, I can see a lot of the stuff in there. You probably could lubricate this, take it all apart, but there's really no use. $20, get another one, you're done. Lifetime warranty. Of course, you want to make sure there's no dirt and leaves and stuff in there. Vacuum that out. Just like so. Everything back up. Alright, so here's a trick for you. When you're having difficulty of getting bolts put in that are on an angle, whatever, like for instance, the ground wire right here, it's way down here on the bottom. When I put this socket and the bolt inside of it, it wants to fall out. So the idea is take a small piece paper towel, shove that on top just like that. Then you take the bolt head and you push that like that, and it don't fall out. I've done this trick numerous of times and it works every time. Bolt it back in, put the hose on it, and she's done. Simple, probably 10-minute job, and I'm neglected to do this for probably a year or more. Probably just about a year. So, alright, let's go try it out. Huh. Alright, try 2. Connection issue with the blower motor. Look at that. I know you don't have field of vision, but that's way better. Yeah, way better. Alright, so got a couple bottles. This stuff, Lucas. ADW90 is what it takes. It's 373 rear end, 7.5 inch differential. So we got brake cables. I already did this side because what started all this was my emergency brake was hanging up and it wasn't fully releasing, and it was causing the whole side over here to hold the truck down. And so anyway, put another brake cable on it. Painted it. It's already had new shoes put on it about 5 months ago, maybe a little bit more than that. So they're like brand new. And the springs I did 4 years ago, and they're still brand new. The wheel cylinders, one of them was leaking on the other side, so I got to do both of those again. I did those probably about 5 years ago. And I went ahead and got a brake cable for the other side because I'm not going to do just one. Same thing with wheel cylinders. Then, so we got wheel cylinders and we got axle seals because one of the axle seals is leaking. I got both sides to do that. Got the differential gasket. There's the part number if you're looking for it. And it's like a, it's not a thick gasket. You know how Felpro is. So that is what that is. We got to pull the axles out. Already got the cover off and the fluid drained. This is what the old cover looks like. See the material in there. Problem is, first of all, you see the line, how full it was. It was a little low, and that's my fault. Checked it a long time back, and it was fine. Never had leaks, so I never checked it. It's, like I said, it was my fault. But the metal, the little magnet that goes right here is missing. I don't know where it's at. And I've not ever touched this cover until now. There's metallic metal stuff all in the pan that I've cleaned out. It's all in the fluid. So I bought a new pan because that one's kind of bent from the jack, from jacking it up one side, and it's rusty. So got a brand new one, Dorman brand, and the part number for that guy is right here, 697701. It was like $17 with taxes and all. Comes with the magnet that I was talking about. Black metallic, or not metallic, but flat black material, which is what I wanted. I want nothing fancy, but I wanted it to look neat and clean. So we got all that stuff, and everything matches. And the problem is the differential. So under here, you'll see, you can see the swirly stuff in the pan. Yeah, that's not good. And then inside of there, looks all right until you start looking at the teeth on the gears themselves, especially up here. I can get the light to shine on them good and get it to focus. You see the teeth missing right there on the spider, right where my light's flashing on. Yeah, that's not what you want. There we go. You see the teeth, every bit of it's chewed up bad. That should not look like that. That is not good. There's definitely something wrong with the rear end. So I never had a noise at all. Like I said, I don't know where the magnet went. It could have fell off somehow, possibly, and got in there and bonded it up, but I never heard nothing. So I don't know what the issue is. All I know is the rear end's wore out. There's teeth missing, pieces out of the gears, the spider gears, and there's a little bit of a like residue of something leaking, and I have a feeling it's the pinion seal starting to go. If that's the case, then I'm swapping rear ends. I'd rather put a 8.8 rear end in this, so I'd have posi, or more than likely one off of a S10 Blazer 2-wheel drive that will have disc brakes. So I'll have disc brakes all the way around, and that's probably more likely what I'll have to go after. It'll be a junkyard find, definitely, for sure be a junkyard. But anyway, I'm going to clean some of this up, spray this down, and then get the axles popped out so I can get the new seals in, because I can't have that leaking all over my brake shoes. Alright, hopefully I got enough room. So the C-clip is out, so the axle should just, you know, knock right out. Let's see what mess we make. Ooh. Not too bad on the teeth wise. I don't see any issues there, but I'll take a closer look at it in a minute. Now I got the axles out. This is what I'm after. You can see it's all wet. The seal itself. So I'm going to pop that out and pop the new one in. And I also got to do the wheel cylinder, but I'm going to do those last. Alright, so update. It's been, well, quite a few days here. The truck, well, I ran into some issues, parts didn't fit, etc. They gave me the wrong things, had to order. The last clip that you've seen, literally right after that, the camera dies. I never thought about picking up the camera again, of finishing up of what I was doing. Sorry about that, guys. But the axle seals on both sides, this one and the other side, which the other side was the last clip that you had seen of me pulling it out. I replaced that seal. It popped out in no time. This one over here gave me a big issue of getting it out, but it's done. As you can tell, the axles are back in. The diff cover is still removed. So the axles are in. The slotted, can't think of the name at the moment, but the axles are in. The C-clips that hold the axles in are in. They're not, you know, there's actually not hardly any more play like there was. There used to be play in this, and there's not. So the axle seals really took care of that. The rear end's junk anyway, but we're still gonna fix what's wrong with it. So the new emergency brake cables, as you can tell, those are both brand new, both sides. The brake hose is brand new as well. And well, now we're down to the nitty-gritty of the wheel cylinders. Come to find out, I don't know if I mentioned it in the last part, but the wheel cylinder on the other side was already leaking. I found out by pulling the boot apart right here. And so I went ahead and picked up wheel cylinders as well. And when I got them, that one over there, let's see, what was it? I believe they were the correct size, but something wasn't right. I got that one in. It's done. That side's complete. They just need to be adjusted, and they need to be bled on that side. This side, I've got it tore down. You don't have to take everything apart. I know where everything exactly goes. It may look like it's a mess to you, but I literally know in my head exactly how this stuff goes. Alright, so there's the part number for the wheel cylinder. They're the same thing for each side. They were like $13.99 at Raleigh's. Had them in stocks. That's why I went with them. Here is the C-clip. This is what I was talking about. Now, to remove these is even more of a pain. So these actually lock in. If you see, they have slots and grooves inside right here. Both sides that these lock into. Well, the problem is, to get them off, they don't make a tool for them, as far as I know of. And the only other way I knew to do it, when you're removing them, is to take two nails, literally take two nails like this and a hammer, and what you're going to do is, you see how it sits on, you see the little slits right here, the little grooves, you take that said nail and you put it straight down right here, so it goes between the clip, pushes it outward, pops it out of these grooves, which pops the whole ring off, just like so. Once you pop it off, you're good to go. There's tricks of putting it on. Usually what I do is I take two flathead screwdrivers and drive them in on both sides, and pop the clip right back in. Once it's locked in, you're good to go. So that's pretty much what I'm going to do, is go behind and try to set the camera up as best as I can to show you what I'm doing. So maybe it helps somebody out there that could be watching it. Like I said, it's just a video tagging you along of what I'm doing to my old S10. Alright. It is hard to get a camera in there to get this to focus. Not much room. And I got a bad knee, so that don't help trying to get in here as well. So first of all, I'm going to make sure you get that line loose. Can't get the line loose, ain't no sense in touching it. And this one doesn't leak, but usually I replaced these both together 5-some years ago. So if one's going to leak, the other one's going to leak not long after. Might as well do them both right now. No sense in doing one without the other. It's going to leak fluid everywhere, but I got plenty of brake fluid, so ain't going to bother me none. Just lay that line out of the way. Make sure you got a pan to catch it. Alright. Take that guy. Right in. Of course, I got the camera out. It's going to look easy. Boy, I felt that one. That's going to be a different color tomorrow. Alright, so that clip must be broke, which is good on my part, but let's see if I can do something here. Let me try something. Now, usually you can take and crisscross these, which will force that clip outward, which is what you want. Come on, buddy. And just like that, it fell out. No, we're not home yet. We still got the clip in there. That must have been the nail. There it goes. That got it. Get that bad boy out. Somebody's flooring it. Gas ain't too cheap to be doing that right now. Boy, my finger stings like you wouldn't believe. Alright, so you want to take the wheel cylinder, keep the dust shield on here. You don't want dirt to get in there from going between or whatever, but dry this out real good. Making a mess. And the backing plates eat up. But it'll work. Put the new one in. Alright. Alright. So we're going to take my long cheater bar here, and you're going to put it against the wheel cylinder like so, just like this. And I'm going to take my chest, push it against this, go behind, take 2 flat heads with that clip, and pop the clip right in. That's usually how I do it. What did I do with it? Okay. Alright. See if I can do this. I did it earlier on the other side. I don't know why I can't do it on this side. Alright. Set this in. Just like so. I know you probably can't see, I'm sorry. And just like that, it's done. I literally was fighting with the other side for, oh gosh, man, 30 minutes, if not more, trying to get it out. This side, it was like a piece of cake. So now, you get the brake line and that rubber boot. Set the camera back down. Take that rubber boot out, put this line back in, quit leaking fluid everywhere. Look at that. Fixed. Now it's just as easy as putting all the brake system back together. Still gotta do the diff cover. Alright. That's good to go for now. Now I gotta put the other brakes on. Alright. Get some anti-seize for the ears, or not the ears, I guess you'd call it the ears, but the backing plate. You can see where it's rubbed real bad right here. Just put some on where it makes contact so you don't rub through the backing plate. And it'll keep it from squeaking so you don't have squeaky brakes. Because nobody likes squeaky brakes. I know I don't. You know what I mean. Go through that McDonald's drive-thru and somebody comes in with screaming brakes. Oh man, that's the worst ever. Alright, so now it's just reassemble everything. So start with the bottom. Is usually how I do it. Work myself way up. Always remember that your thickest shoe always goes on the back. The truck's facing forward, so the thickest shoe always goes on the back part. Just so you know. Literally, you can hand tight this with your hand and do it all the time. Done. Alright, now let's see. Get your bottom bolt or spring. It has to go a certain way or it will rub the adjuster wrong and you'll never be able to adjust the brakes. Alright. So the spring's falling apart. At least the coating is, not the spring itself, but there we go. Just like that. Alright. I usually put the adjuster in last. There we go. This guy is a little sketchy to get on, but it has to go from here to here. Of course, you can't see that. It has to go from here to here. And I don't have a tool for that, so you usually take pliers and pull it over there. This part I hate. What part is to love about drum brakes? Never been a fan of them. Alright, this guy here is a mess. It always gives me problems. Looks like this, goes in this way, and I think there's a piece been sawed off from it because the other side's not like that. But it actually fits in just like this between the shoes so they don't collide each other like it was doing a minute ago. So the adjuster all the way in, make sure it's, you know, loose. And I've lubricated with anti-seize, so it's good to go. So this part's not too bad. Usually just kind of move this guy out of its way. You can stick one side in, kind of spread that one out. Just like that. Needs like one little final hit. There we go. Now it's in, the spring's in. This guy's off. And there's a spring. Yep. It goes underneath this guy. That needs to be done first. Like so. There we go. And now, as you see, the brakes are back together. Everything's together, everything's brand new. Now, you know, like I said, done springs and all that stuff a long time ago. Painted this blue, thinking about going back to black. Still got to paint the other hub, I guess you would call it. And but in the meantime, I need to go ahead and clean up the surface of that diff, because rain is coming in 2 days. And I got to let this dry, at least the diff cover, for 24 hours before I touch it. Unless I got some 90-minute tough stuff, or whatever it's called. 90-minute something. It's called the right stuff. That's it. Anyway, so this side's pretty much done. The other side's done. They just got to be bled, and they got to be adjusted. So where they have like a little bit of a drag to them as you spin them. You don't want them free spinning. You just want them a little bit to where they barely touch the inside drums. So time to get some tools out. It's going on 2:30 a.m. I'm sure my neighbors love me with banging and all that stuff at night. So I'm going to get the air tool out. Yeah, that's what I said. And clean the surface of that diff cover, covered up with a paper towel. Then I can throw some RTV in the new gasket and call it done. 2 in the morning. Let it dry for 24 hours at least. Alright, we're back at it again, and it's been a couple days. Oh, look at that. There's sunshine again. It rained for 2 days, so that cut out some time of getting this thing done, but she's done now, and because every time it rains, the whole carport gets soaked. I mean, you know, it's really bad. You fall and bust your head. That's how slick it is. Been wanting to get it painted eventually, but anyway, the whole system's done. So new shoes, new springs, new wheel cylinders, system's bled, new brake cables, the brake hose at the top's done, axle seals, diff cover, diff gasket, diff fluid, all that stuff's done. Everything's torque spec, there's no leaks. I painted the hub assembly, as you can tell. It's like a primer gray, something like that. And here's the stuff I use for that. High heat, 2,000 degree. I mean, it's never going to reach that, but I like the color of it. So, and it dries really fast, which is a key that I was looking for. Was going to use this. I've used this before, but over time it had just like disintegrated over time. The paint would fade. Of course, it's not made for stuff like it's made for engine, you know, paint, but it just didn't hold up as well. So, you know, with heat and all that stuff, I guess. But anyway, so it's painted with that, and the backing plates I painted a long time ago, probably about 5 years ago now. I also painted the wheel wells with this stuff. I've showed you this before. 3M rubberized undercoating. AutoZone had it on sale. I think Walmart did again this time, so I grabbed more cans of it, and I painted everything, the leaf springs, the whole frame, from the back of the truck all the way to about half of the door, because I've already done the front end part before, where the control arms and all that stuff's at on the truck, so it don't rust. You can see the paint color now. The shocks are new, they're not that old, but the paint's kind of, I need to take something, get that paint off. I hate that I've oversprayed it, but it is what it is. can see the coating on the frame it leaves, which is what I like. It'll protect it from rust and mud and whatever else that I might get into. But yeah, it's clean. So anyway, I also painted the drums. Nice finish with some silver paint. Here's this stuff I use for that. I use this. Literally, I've painted wheels with this before, and it's wheel paint. But I painted drums like this many times. It lasts a long time. It doesn't rust away or anything like that, as long as you sand it down and get it good and finished. Which, these are new drums. I replaced these 5 years ago. But you can see the rust that's came in, and I've painted over them, which is pretty much the outside. Didn't really do the center as well, and I didn't really sand it down as well, but this gets really used a lot for where the wheel is mounted to the truck, so that's going to happen. It's going to have wear patterns in it. I needed to clean the wheels because I got the truck stuck not long right before I started this whole process of doing the brakes and whatever. And I mean, it was so deep. I'll try to post some pictures into this if I can figure out how to do that. I'm still new to that editing skill, but it was so bad that it was buried to here in mud. And I mean, the whole front end had mud on it. The whole rear end had mud. And it was so bad that it slung it all the way up here. You can actually tell, yeah, how deep it was. I mean, it was caked in mud. But I still want to clean the wheels before I put them back on. Call me crazy, but that's just how I am. A little OCD about cleaning stuff, but I like my truck and my wheels and stuff to be nice and clean. You know, at least for the most part. If it gets rain, water, whatever on it, stains, I can clean that off. But mud, I just can't stand. So anyway, I had to fix my pressure washer. I actually picked this up off the side of the road, and it wasn't in pieces. It works, but I've got a problem with flooding gas. So I got to figure that out. And the choke mechanism for when it's cold is not hooked up. Don't know why. It controls the plate over here for the exhaust and the carburetor over here for the choke. So I've got to find a long bolt to fit in here that mounts it here, and then it'll be good to go and then clean the wheels up. But yeah, anyway, I guess what else I could do is go ahead and install these. Not sure if I showed you, but I picked these guys up, and they're $40 off a Facebook Marketplace. Oh yeah, boy, that is freaking clean, buddy. These are, let's see, what is the number? H4, I believe, or 9003 is the bulb size. They come factory with some just factory bulbs, but I'm looking at installing LEDs eventually. So I'm in the market of trying to find 9003 or H4. They're the same bulb, but you can look up either way. Putting those in here so I can put them in the S10. So yeah, the factory ones that's what's in it now. They're from AutoZone. I think they were like somewhere around 10 a piece, something like that. I got a price match to Walmart. You can see the difference of what it's going to be like. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and pull this grill off again and throw these in. If you're wondering what happened to the old LEDs I installed probably about 3 years ago, there's a video on my channel. Go check it out. I'll leave it in the bottom if I remember to do that. Those didn't last. Here it is 3 years later, and they crapped out. One of them, I think it was that side, started flickering on low beam. High beam was fine. Low beam was not. And I used high beam a lot. I was really shocked that low beam went out. But anyway, they were like $40-50 off of Amazon 3 years ago. Really not the best investment, I would say, for an S10 for this type. They produce light, I will give them that. They just don't have what the factory has. And what I should have done was went to the parts store, got this brand, put it in here, because it's a whole lot different than what I had. The ones that were in here were terrible. You could not see. These are way brighter. But with these, it's even going to be even better when I swap in LEDs, because that's what I was looking for. I wanted something that I could put aftermarket bulbs in and not have to do it like this, because these are the old glass type. You have to replace the whole unit. So anyway, we get this set up and go ahead and replace these. If you're wondering what happened to the other ones that were in here, I found one at the junkyard that works, and I put the good one that was out of here, put it in the Blazer, because the Blazer headlights were terrible, and they didn't even light up at all. You couldn't even see 10 feet in front of you. Some of them had water in them and all that. So anyway, I'll probably take these out, put them in the Blazer, and if these work out good, then I'll definitely recommend these to everybody else that I know for putting these in the rest. Oh yeah, much better. Now I've already installed, I've got LEDs on in this truck. The dashboard lights for the cluster and all that stuff, LEDs, heater controls, LEDs. These are LEDs amber for the turn signal, park lights. And the bottoms are clear, and I got clear lenses in the grill assembly. I don't have LEDs in the bottom just yet. I want to put LEDs in the bottom lights. I've got LED tag lights, and the interior lights are LEDs too for the doors. Alright, it's getting about that time. Sunset. Perfect time to test these old things out. See how good they do. Like I said, they probably won't stay in there long. I'm going to be putting LEDs in there. The bulbs themselves that are in these. Alright, let's give this thing an old cold start. I got to hook up the other gauges for this thing. Something else is on the list. They're bright. I like how they beam down on the ground so you can actually see. Kind of beam out a little bit. I'll let this thing warm up because she's very, very cold-blooded carbureted. So once that happens, take it on the back row when it gets dark enough. See how good the lights are. Yeah, there's something else I gotta fix. It's been like 2 weeks since I've heard this thing run. Just every time I hear it, it just puts a smile on my face. But the exhaust, you see it rattles around. There's times where it rattles so bad it sounds like there's something wrong with the motor. And I took it to a place called Pond and Rounds that's down here where I'm at. They suck. Right where the hanger is mounted to the exhaust on the end, the welds broke. Literally just broke. So the whole thing makes that horrible sound. I mean, it just sounds like crap. So I gotta figure out about getting that fixed somewhere else, or buying a welder and doing it myself. Every time I try to take it up there, they give me the runaround. Oh, you need to bring it in the morning, leave it. When literally it would take you 10 minutes to pull the thing in, weld that up, and I'm on my way. Question is, does it still clunk in gear? Well, wow, right into gear. Emergency brake works now and it releases. Holy crap. Yeah, the brakes are a lot better than they were before. Oh yeah, something else that's installed in the truck. You can even change the color, whatever color you want. Yeah, there's no more clunking so far that I can tell. Even in reverse, but drive was worse. It was always worse. It didn't matter. Most of the time it did it when it was hot, which is what I'm waiting for. Temperature's still not come up. This thing takes forever to warm up. Man, camera really does not do justice on some things. This sucks. it shines way out. Kind of like the originals do, but they're not a beam. You know, the originals always did like a straight line beam, like your finger straight out on each side, and I didn't like that. I wanted something that spread out as it went out into a distance. This is way better for light, and on low beam it does actually farther out than what it shows on camera, but definitely a really good investment that I found. I believe they're off of Amazon. If I can find the link, I'll put them in the bottom to these headlights, but I got these off of Facebook that somebody bought that messed up and got the wrong type for his S10, so I was the first one to grab them up. Alright, so it's the next day, and well, I got to check over the fluids and all that stuff, make sure everything is good. And you know, I've explained it several times in different videos about this truck. This engine that I put in here 4 years ago is shot. It's been like that since I put it in, and really and truly I should have just pulled it back out and either put bearings in it or found something else to put in its place. But I was in a time crunch. I needed the truck to drive. It's the only thing I had as a daily to drive, which still really is. The Eurosport there's some things going on with it again, so I'm not able to drive it. But anyway, the bottom end bearings are shot. The intake manifold gaskets are shot to where it's, I believe, mixing coolant and oil together. I'm not losing any out of the radiator. Yeah, I'm not losing any, and it's bright green. You just can't really see it. It's always full, never overheats. It takes forever to warm up. And the whole cooling system is brand new. Radiator, water pump, thermostat, hoses, all that stuff. But I never touched the intake manifold gasket. So you pull this out. Sometimes, if I'm lucky, well, it's full, which is good, but sometimes you'll see a milkiness, just a hair bit on the dipstick. Another thing, when you pull the oil cap off, there's usually a bunch of milky junk on this. That's usually a tell sign. Oh yeah, look at that. And that's not even bad. I mean, that's not even really bad compared to what it looks like when I've pulled it out before to add oil to it. It's got a bad oil leak that just started. You know, my luck. The front seal is gone. The intake's leaking, so there's oil going down there, and I believe it's the distributor dummy, or the seal on the distributor that's leaking on the backside, down the block and all the way down on the transmission, just blowing it back, making a mess. But yeah, on the inside, it's kind of, you know, it looks like that at times, but more likely, sometimes it's thicker than that. The breather filter for this guy right here, being carbureted, has that. I've got to change those filters out within so many months, something like that. I want to say I need to check it again, see if it's plugged up, but I might as well just go ahead and check it. Yeah, I know, I need to get this fixed. I don't like using an actual wrench to take it off. I replaced this carburetor 2 years ago because the old one was junk. It made the vehicle run like poo. I mean, just terrible gas mileage, which it still gets back gas mileage, but I mean, like, it was just horrible gas mileage. No build up on the cover. Oh man, that's what I was talking about. That's not ideal, man. Not ideal at all. Sheesh. Oh, wow. Wow. That's a lot of buildup. Holy crap. Oh, well, it needs another filter change again, I guess. I don't really know if I'm going to keep driving this truck now or not. Because, you know, I was already on borrowed time with the bearings, but it's blow-buying so much stuff that it's just, you know, recycling it. It's burning it. It's in the oil. Now it's in the filter system. I mean, so this is why I have extra filters for it. So for now, I'm going to take one of these, pop that in, clean all this junk out of here so I can at least drive it, because I've got to use this truck. If you didn't know, I've actually found a rear end for this, and I don't have anything else to go and pick this thing up with. I have to use this truck. You know, it's really crazy, you know, when you got the truck and you're dailying it or whatever, you don't really need it. When it comes down to it of like needing to tear it down or something's wrong with it and you can't drive it, there's all kinds of stuff that'll pop up. Friends will text you, call you, hey, can I use your truck for this, or whatever have you. But I'm going to clean that out, pop a filter in, and we'll come back after that. I got to check the differential fluid again. And the transmission fluid needs to be checked. There's a leak underneath there. Found out the transmission mount's busted, even though that was brand new. So I'll get this cleaned out. Alright, you can see the mess that it makes. Big old mess. Some of it's on the cat, and some of the oil was on there. So you got oil and transmission fluid. You can see the seal inside of here is shot. I bought it, just haven't done it yet. And then if you move on down to the gear selector, right here, it's all wet, so it needs to be changed. The little seal that's been behind there. Lubricated this up a little bit so it'll make it easier to go in gear, you know, so there's not much of binding. But you can see the oil leak that I've got real bad. It's pretty bad. It's on everything. The whole wheel on that side is caked with it completely from it. The whole frame's full of it. Oil pan's soaked. Transmission cover pan for the torque converter is soaked. The oil, I mean, pretty much everything underneath here is caked with it. Needs to take it to the car wash. Looks like the rear tail shaft seal is shot. So I'm going to find another one of those. There's like $10. But I need to go pick up the rear end hopefully tomorrow. So may not include that in this video. It'll be another time. But I got to get a transmission mount too. So a seal, transmission mount, those need to be addressed. But anyway, the most part, that's changed out and cleaned out in the air cleaner. So yeah, you can see the mess that it's making right now. The whole front seal's gone, and it's because the crank, I would put new seals in it, but the problem is the crankshaft, like I said, the main bearings are shot so bad that the crank is wobbling around, and it's wobbled that seal out. If I put another one in there, it's just going to do the same thing. That's why the probably why the rear of the engine block soaked with oil, is because the rear main seal is probably shot. So you know, it is what it is. I got another motor for it. That guy sits right here. I've had this. This came out of my 92 Chevy S10. 2.8. It was a 5-speed. I got another flywheel for it. Pretty much got everything for it to put it together. You know, all the gasket seals, etc. And even more. Wiring harness, computer, ECM, all that stuff. To be swapped into here to swap it back to TBI instead of carbureted. I don't know yet. I got something else planned. Hopefully will be coming up soon. Not going to leave a spoiler yet. Just stay tuned for that one. Maybe getting something else for this be swapped. No, it's not a V8. So anyway, I guess that's going to conclude this video. It's already long enough, more than I wanted it to be. But I hope you enjoyed it like I did. Just pretty much bringing you with me and replacing a lot of things that need to be done to this truck. And I did some more off camera that wasn't filmed. I also got to get a power steering hose right here. It's starting to leak. Not this one. I've already replaced this one, but the low pressure hose. That's just a hose. So I'll just go ahead and get another one of those. But yeah. So if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. I'd highly appreciate it, guys. And as always, like, share, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content coming your way. Have a notification bell on so every time I upload, you get the notification. Thanks for watching, guys. There'll be more content coming on the S10 and the Blazer and etc. and more stuff. I will catch you in the next one later. Thanks.